Here we have it at least, though. What? Who are my 39 people in tools? What would I do to be able to see them? Select who from tools. How do I do that?
Well, I would just do select splat from tools. No, from staff.
Yeah.
And then do the where clause.
Where?
Department.
Department equals tools.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see that. I mean, select, sure. Select splat from staff. I love that. Where the department equals tools. We had stolen this database shamelessly from some advanced SQL course. It claims to be advanced. I'm not necessarily sure it's all that advanced, but that's fine.
So if I want to do the tools, then it would be in, because it's just a...
Oh, because it's a string, yes.
Yeah.
We would want to have that in ticks. We would call that ticks.
Okay.
It's a slang term. It's apostrophes, right? So there they are. These are all my people.
39.
Those are the people who are involved with tools.
Oh.
Apparently there's a civil engineer that likes to sell tools for me. There's a program analyst 4. A nuclear power engineer that likes to sell tools for me. For whatever reason.
How do you know that it's about selling things?
Isn't that trouble? They're in that department. Well, why are these people in my tools bar? I have a nuclear scientist that helps me to develop tools for some reason. It's a fusion reactor, what? My goodness.
No, but how do you know that it's about sales? It's not about sales.
I understand this is a contrived set of data. This is some fictitious weird thing. No Walmart institution would hire a software consultant to be involved with tools, likely, or a teacher or a research nurse. They would just hire people who are metallurgists at best.
Cool. So now we're going to see how many dudes and how many girls we have.
Well, if you want to do that, I mean, should we go all feminist like this? I love it. Let's have that.
We can do like, there is not the right percentage and we need to...
Well, the only thing that I think people might get up in arms about is there's 1,000 people here, and none of them are anything but male and female, so why aren't there some non-binary folks involved?
I think this is all data.
Yeah, this is all just like contrived, stupid-ass
Look at the dates.
Data. Yeah. So, if you want to if you want to do a percentage-wise, how many percentage of people, assigned at birth might be female? It's like slightly above 50%. How many male? Slightly lower than 50%, but it's about 50% for each. We can identify that, but why? I mean, we could.
Or just because I don't know how to do it.
Oh, you don't? Oh, come now. Select splat is one way to get all rows, but what would you want to do to find out how many?
We need to do a count.
I love that. Let's see how that looks.
Okay.
So you press Q, and that's the end thing that stymies you. This is PSQL we're in the middle of here. If you get to where you've got a lot of rows coming back, it says end, you can press Q, and then it bails you up. So what she's doing here now is select what? Count?
Out of
10. We can do count splat, but what's even better than counting?
But just the specific columns you want to count.
If you count a column that might exist, like the one that's guaranteed to be there, of all these, do you know that their name is even going to be present? Maybe somebody says, I'm nameless. Whatever it is. Or somebody doesn't have email. Somebody says they're genderless.
There is always going to be ID.
There will always be ID.
So you want to do
there is our primary key. What if we count? That is the most absolute thing, because primary key, it better be there. If it's not there, you don't have anything. There are rules. There's something called a constraint.
He's here twice.
Well, is it the same dude?
Let's see. Well, he's got the same ID. Look.
Well, we got some flawed data. We better find some. We got some duplicates in the mix. We better pitch that out. I guess.
Why is it there?
I would have to think that we literally have errant data in our midst. If you do a count splat from ID equals 143, what do you get? Probably 2. Anyway, what she's up to, by the way, is counting splat of how many people are male, how many people. Apparently somebody voted twice on the male-female department. That guy, number 143, is probably going to show up twice in the mix. That little silly.
So we just ignore that?
Oh, I would love to be able to normalize that thing right around. That's a bunch of trouble. Yeah, so we have bad data. That's a common deal.
But how do you get to the point that you have two things with the same ID?
You should never, right? If you have implemented a primary key or a unique constraint, and these are the things that force that you should only have one of a thing, you see.
Yeah.
If you say, my primary key is on the ID column, right at the start, you will not have this. You will not. I mean, the database doesn't allow it. It will force that you cannot do this.
So when you're designing the data, you should specify?
Yeah, specify don't have duplicates of ID. That's just dumb. Hello.
But we never did that.
Well, that's where the problem happened, isn't it? I mean, this guy snuck in twice. This little fool. What? He's like, look at me. I'm here twice. 143. Yeah, look at me.
Maybe he's got schizophrenia. You don't
Yeah,
know.
well, maybe. But he says he's one name, so it's not like he's a he and a she both or something. He's not going a lot of directions. He's just like, I'm apparently this Gutierrez guy. See? I sell tools for you, so I'm a database administrator who sells tools. Anyway, if we set count of ID, it's very good. Generally, unless you fucked up the primary key column or the unique constraint. Please, when you design tables, have that in place. We will sort that out. I mean, what'll we do? We're going to remove and reinsert that thing, so there's just one of these guys. We can delete and see the 2 go out, and then insert and see the 1 goes in. So we can make sure, like we can clean that up. I wonder how many more of those things exist. We're going to have a query in a minute that's going to look for that. Well, we have bad data. This is a very common problem.
Bad
in
data.
Databases. You
bad
might have,
data.
Yeah, you might just be a little bit, above the law, whatever. That's fine. We can clean that up. We can find out what's going on and look back in time and even see when that was created. The thing is, databases have a track of everything that happened, insert, update, delete with...
Big Brother is watching.
That is true, with the transaction log. The transaction log is a thing that you can look back on. What is all the activity that caused my database to be in the circumstance that it is currently right now?
Mm-hmm.
How did I get to this place as I see it at this state? What transpired to be able to create my database to be apparently 999 good rows or less instead of 1,000? Like, what the hell happened? Why do I have a duplicate in the mix? We'll look at that in a minute. Right now, you cared about you wanted to find about equality.
Yeah.
Let's find about who am I employing in tools, male, female versus otherwise.
Yes.
Let's see how they are,
Okay. So select count ID and then just continue with that.
Okay, yes. So what she's done so far, the select is the most common query in the SQL language. There's 4 statements that are data manipulation language. Strangely, like select doesn't change anything, but we still classify it as being data manipulation language for whatever reason. And she is choosing to select in the column list. So next after the select keyword comes the column list. You can comma separate a lot of things if you want. She's only wanting one member back. That's the count, so the ID. Count of how many IDs I've got, something that's guaranteed to be there. If you count other stuff that could be absent, you get a mismatched count. You don't get a good count.
I should also put gender in there, shouldn't I?
Well, we're getting there, right? So she's taking it. Let's see. She's select. Let's take a good peek here. It starts off with the keyword select. The keyword is going to tell me what I'm going to do. Of the 4 different things I could do, that is select, insert, update, delete in terms of DML. All right, I'm going to select stuff. I'm going to try to get stuff back, right? The count is a function. It's an aggregate function, as we might call it. It's only going to give one number back. If you count stuff, you're not going to give I have these various numbers. No. Well, in terms of counting the whole thing, if it's not bounded by what department or whatever, classify it by department, that would be a group by, you see. Yeah. If we want to group it by some other thing. No, we're not doing that. So we just get the overall count of everything from this table at large.
Yeah,
that's it.
This point, yeah.
Right? And then so she says then also from. So the select statement generally should have a from clause. If you don't have a from clause, it's just going to give you one row back. By the way, you can select 1 and it'll say 1. It's like a print statement. You can select taco and it'll say taco, right? But here she said select count from, so she's choosing to take it from a table or view, see? So from some sort of a data source of some kind, a relation as it were. So tell me the stuff that exists in an idea that you might have called staff. So what does a database engine do? It looks up all in my things of what do I have that might be called staff? And it could be a view, it could be a table, it could be a lot of things. But in this case, it just happens to be a raw table, something that she had created previously from what I recall. And it has 1,000 members in, of which we apparently have duplicate data. So she's taking the count of every member of staff currently, but she'd like to filter it. So this generically, if we just ran this, it would say 1,000, right? Mm-hmm. All right, 1,000, and there's duplicate nonsense in here, by the way, as well. But she wants to find out how many people identified that were being assigned as, what do you choose, like male or female? Apparently there's these only 2 options that I see so far that people say that they were assigned at birth. The gender column doesn't seem to have more than these 2 different values. I don't know. What would you like to choose of these 2 values, I guess?
Were you asking me?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. What do you want to count? Male or female? Or not?
I want both.
Okay, well, maybe we then should group by.
Yeah.
Okay, select count from staff. If you're going to group by, then you have to also have gender in the column list.
Yes, right.
If you want it to have the GB, it's not just where it's male or where it's female. You're not like making this designation. If you want to be generic in this sense, you have to say comma gender.
So do I have to put in the select list, or can I just put whatever and then still group by?
Although you could group by, it doesn't mean a lot of things. Like you don't know which one. Like I have 49 of that and 51 of that.
Yeah.
Tell me which ones they were. Oh, I didn't tell you which ones they were. So you might as well say which ones they are.
All right, cool.
So
and then
from staff, and then
I need to do group by.
The idea here. So we have an aggregate. We have a non-aggregate. When you have a combination of an aggregate and a non-aggregate, and the aggregate is count in this case. The non-aggregate is anything else, really. I mean, if you're not like saying I'm an average or sum or do anything else, min, max of these guys, 5 common different aggregate functions, then I guess it's just going to be any non-aggregate, which happens to be gender.
So if we're looking for the ones that are in this department, do I need to do having departments?
Ooh. No, you could do where.
You can't do where with aggregate functions.
You can, because you can filter before you group. Let's get to that part when we get to that part. What? I think we're a little early. Let's just, our reader, our faithful reader here, you see, following along at home, probably is unaware of anything that we're talking about quite yet. Look at this. We have 496 female, 504, am I reading that right? So a few more male, so it's, in keeping with, it's a little bit high on the tool side, maybe. Anyway, this is of the whole staff at large. It's 1,000 people. I happen to have 504 that happen to be male, and 496 happen to be female. They identify as this currently, I guess. Now, could we say having department equals tools? Sure. Could we equally as well have said...
Oh, just people.
Yeah, this is the people coming out, I think, from the pub.
I thought it was like an animal in the carton.
So one can only hope, that we'd have that kind of excitement.
Apparently there was a bunny there before.
Yeah, well,
so then
not get Monty Python started.
Column name, would I put it in any...
So we're having department, so meaning that of the staff table, she's saying then, so this department, this is a column for department here, apparently for tools.
Yeah.
Department equals...
Because it is string anyway.
It is a string, so what we do for strings is put them in ticks. Curiously.
It doesn't like it. Must appear in the group by. Really? Yeah, I don't understand that.
Because you said that it has to have having department equals tools. Why don't you try it as a where clause instead? Isn't that interesting? If you were to do that
you're not allowed to do
before the grouping, if you're going to have a having, you better understand that after the grouping is the problem. I get it. We're going to talk about this, like before or after grouping. So let's go put back. Now, this is where people probably are becoming more familiar, because the having clause is a little bit of a mystery sometimes to some people. Let's do the where clause first. Let's start from the start. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. From staff, where, let's put in the keyword where, and then put in that same exact clause. Department of tools, is it going to work now? If we filter it before the grouping, consider. If you take out everybody except for only tool people, apparently I have 21 female people involved with selling tools for me, and 18 male people that sell, they identify as this anyway, who sell tools for me. That's great. These are my folks in the tool department. If you filter them out before the grouping, is that less expensive overall?
Yes, it is. Sure.
Yeah. Don't have to worry about more than about 50 folks, and then you can count them up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a lot simpler query, really.
Why did I hear that you use having with aggregate functions and you use where elsewhere?
Well, now, let's say that you wanted to say where the count of these guys is greater than 20. Can I know that before I group?
Oh, so the having would usually be not equal, but because that's what I've seen, that the having would usually be like greater or greater
than an aggregate. I cannot test my aggregates until I've grouped. I don't know that I have 40 tool people, 40
Yeah.
odd, until I've actually filtered them.
So
Until I've grouped them up and said group it by the tools. If I don't group them by the tools, so the where, it already like filtered out and said, oh, look at these, I have 40 people now.
So let's do it a little more. So we do
Okay.
this, and then we do department.
Oh, okay.
And then we do staff, group by gender, department.
Ooh, now we're getting 2 dimensions. We might call these guys dimensions.
And then we go have...
Okay, having count, maybe?
Yes.
Count of ID
Yes.
is greater than what? You choose that. I don't know.
Count of what ID, you say?
And because it's a function, we would not generally want to have a space
That's
after
right.
the keyword count.
That's
so,
right.
yeah, count of ID, yes.
Of ID.
Okay,
and then
the
we
one
do...
case in which the parenthesis doesn't have a space before it in terms of just when we're trying to space
they're
things.
friends and they cuddle.
Yeah, I don't know. You pick the number, really.
They usually just, I don't know, let's do 20.
Okay.
But that's for
all departments
that's
who
in
have
the given department.
who have a people who have chosen to say that they are male or female. If there's more than 20 of those folks, it's not just 20. It has to be 21 or more. So
it's 20 of a gender.
gender's inside of a department. So let's identify that.
Accurate. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's find out who says that they've got more than 20 folks. There are apparently 24 males in garden, 22 in sports, 25 in games. You see?
So how did it order it randomly?
Very randomly. This is just as it was able to pick it out of the hat, you see?
And now I can order by the end here?
Yes, order by goes at the very last before, limit is the final thing you can do at the very, very end with many SQL implementations, but not Microsoft. But anyway, you can say limit.
So do by department and then order by gender.
Okay. The third column and the second column. She's ordering by alphabetically the department and then alphabetically male, female.
It cut out all the females from automotive because they were less than 20. Yeah, and the same here with BB, but then there was more than 20 in beauty for both male and female.
I just love the equality we have like in grocery where we've got like similar numbers of male and female working alongside each other apparently.
Garden.
Yeah, I love that.
Doesn't matter to me.
Curiously, many people might care in this day and age. And hats off to you if you have that, I guess.
Cool. Yeah, this is just interesting to be able to do this. So.
I think then now, okay.
Yeah.
This starts to employ a fair bit of usefulness of what we can do with select statements. We've done group by, right? And group by is highly important to understand filtering before the grouping. After the grouping, you filter before with the where, and you filter after with the. I'm sorry, I'm saying too much. You have to understand the 2 times you can filter these things.
Yeah, I get it because it uses
the where clause is the first, yeah. The having clause is the second. This is very, very important.
Yeah, because it uses so much more energy to try to do it afterwards. Okay.
Because you've already got all this stuff, right?
Yeah, it's just because that's when I was learning that what came up. It's like, oh, you use having with aggregate functions. So I assumed
but you don't have any other option. Could you have a having with an aggregate? Obviously. Could you have a where with an aggregate? Could you do a where clause on like count greater than 5? No. Why?
Well, apparently you can have a where, just used differently.
Could I say though where the average is greater than 2 or something, or the count is greater than 5? Could I do like what you did here?
No.
Could the having be a where? Could I not?
No,
I can't do that. Why?
So no, because you can't.
Well, think about it. You can't because this is very important. This is what I'm trying to get to. You see. So the where clause happens before the grouping.
Yeah.
The having happens after. How do I know how many I have unless I've grouped them?
Exactly. Yeah.
I can't do the count. I can't do the average. I can't figure out how many and so forth. I can't know these numbers until I've done the grouping.
That's why you have a different
very expensive
expression for that.
Yes. So we've chosen to have 2. This is why there's having and where that are different. Because you can do it before the grouping, which is highly effective. Please do that. This utilizes indexes. It tries to optimize everything inside of the database engine as best it can. Whittle it down fast. Make it great before you have to group, because grouping is an expensive operation. Whittle it down as soon as you can, And then, okay, after you've got that, what could be large, millions, could be billions rows for me. Hopefully not more than millions. But anyway, you're using this stuff in RAM. Like, you're running this stuff in some server's machine, man. And it could be like tens to hundreds of gigabytes of RAM, granted that it's working with this stuff. But still, that's prohibitive if you're going to do too many of these things at once. You just can't do that. So try to whittle it down as soon as you can. And then it will not take up too much RAM in that server that's trying to process this vast amount of stuff, potentially. We only have 1,000 rows. That's nothing. But millions to hundreds of millions, that's easily. I mean, many organizations have like hundreds of thousands of employees that do millions of things in total over their employment. So there's a lot of things that have millions to even billions of rows of data. Or like transactions, we go over the market all the time and buy crap. So like I've done a few thousand transactions this year, certainly. And like all of that stuff, if you add it up amongst all the people of Visa running around there with their dumb debit cards all over the place trying to buy shit, like that starts to be a billion things real fast, like a billion a week, really.
Yeah, I guess this. It is. Cool. Okay, this is the window function. Do you say window or windowing?
Well, you could say either, actually. I guess the most specific might be a window function in this day and age.
Can I get the red cup?
You would find it, like if you Google on it, it's highly probable that if you say that this is a window function, that might be like the most.
Thank you.
How are we all of a sudden, I thought we were going to do joins. I mean, group by was good, right?
You can't really do much joins on this data because it has 3 tables and then I don't even know.
Okay, I acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Before we go too much further, our faithful reader might care to be able to join things together, probably. This is a staff table, apparently. And staff has, this is forgettable, regrettable, that we have department as being a string and not some outside other table.
Yeah, that's just messed
Look
up.
at all the repetition. 1,000 times we've spelled out in text that somebody is baby, or somebody is automotive, or somebody's grocery, or beauty, or whatever else. That's forgettable. We would want to normalize this data generally and have a separate table, another table that joins.
Yeah.
And I know we don't have that here. It's really weak, so...
Well, we can go to a different database.
Well, yeah, I'm just trying to be frank, I guess, and this is me being terrible, I guess.
Do you want to do joins, or do you want to do like a recap on the...
I don't want to go to window functions and really freak people out until we do the joins, you know? I mean, what if you were a window function? Would you feel like, wow, I'm so special because somebody cared about me before the join? I mean, maybe.
So why would join feel like I'm so special that I need to be before the rank?
Well, why do we call it relational data engines in the first place? Hello, Martha. Whoever that is, Martha Stewart, cooking things. Anyway, Martha's Vineyard. What I care about is we need to join things before we group them, usually.
Well, okay.
Usually.
Okay, well...
The relational data engines are tables that relate to other tables.
DT?
Yeah, /DT shows us these terrible tables. It's Postgres, by the way. Look at these things. Staff, we've just been through. This is 1,000 rows of garbage,
yeah, we know
really.
a lot about that one by now. And then from company, am I spelling it right?
Yeah, that's true. Company divisions, and you put the semicolon at the end of statements, by the way. That's just a SQL thing to do. It's like JavaScript, I guess. Semicolon at the end of things, right?
So they spell that again.
Yeah. Isn't that wretched? Like, think about that. The division. Oh, I'm going to join my division, not by some, unique key, but instead of by text. It's really pathetic, isn't it? I'm sorry. I'm trashing some dude. He's probably like, I tried my best. Fuck. I put this data out there for you fuckers.
That's true. Thank you, whoever.
Right? Whoever fucking sold your soul to the devil on this. Thank you.
Thanks for
Okay,
doing
so
that.
yeah, there's this, but we have the IDs, you see. We got like the reasons to have an ID. We can even clean up this data. We can update it, Company division.
Can we actually do this so we take
we could add a column. We could fucking add a column.
Not a column, like to actually change the schema and put this as to all the things that are spelled out as a text. We actually run it to a different table.
Oh yeah. Well, we can select that thing around, But the thing is, I would actually want to add a column. This is be like a key column to be able to repair this data. And this is my best, I'm just trying to be kind, to be able to repair this data so that it has foreign keys appropriately. It's great that we can say, like, select splat from company divisions and see departments relate to divisions. See, here it is. Like, look, baby is in domestic. Okay, yeah, it makes a lot of sense, right? God, but like the reality is, what if I misspelled baby one of these times? BABX instead of Y or whatever. Like BabX. Now I've got a whole new department. I've got the BabX department with one thing in it, and the baby department with 400 things in it. That's wretched, you know. If you fat finger something as you enter something, or I don't know, some gamma ray from the fucking cosmos comes in and switches a bit on your from the X to Y of your stupid thing. So I don't know. It degenderifies your baby to X so for some Bab X. You know, now it's more female than male, whatever the hell. I don't know.
Yes.
Right? What if that happened? I mean, think about that. Chromosomes. I don't know. Fuck. Babies come around from that, right? Anyway, where are we going with this? It's a highly gender-specific night tonight here on the couch, talking about data for some reason. What I would like to identify, I guess at least, only is just that it'd be great to repair this data. So one column at a time. Let's make department ID. Let's alter this table, you know, so that we have.
Oh, alter table.
Yeah. Why don't we add a column? It's an integer, so we'd have a key column. You see, that could be department ID. It's a foreign key.
Okay, teach me, guide me.
So alter table. And what is the one?
This one? You want to do this one?
I think company divisions is a great place to start, quite frankly, because it's got more things in. Company divisions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Add, and curiously with add, you don't have to specify column, the keyword column. Most other things, if you want to drop the column, you just have to drop a column. But if you're going to add something, you just say add the thing I want to add. So it is what? It's like division ID, so division underscore ID, I guess, all lowers, right? Some column name. I'm boring you to tears.
No,
I see.
I've been up for many hours.
No, I get it. Division underscore ID, I would guess, I guess.
But why would you do
division
ID?
It's not division.
ID.
Is it? It's department. Fuck. Okay, I'm sorry.
No.
Division's the other one. What do you want?
But I don't know. So what are we doing?
Well, it's department division. I don't know. Company divisions. Departments have these divisions, so.
Yeah, but I would rather do. Well, if I was to do the department, I would do it somewhere else, not here, because the company divisions.
Well, maybe it's many to many. Maybe it doesn't make much sense to me either. Like the company has these departments. This is like the department table.
Okay, if I was to try to understand, it's like
I'm trying to understand too. I'm just trying to get caught up with the team here. Fuck.
So the division has many departments.
Okay, I think that could actually exist because like entertainment has both movies and music. So I think you're accurate in this. Possibly this is really a division table. We would do well probably. Like I guess it's called company division, so that does make sense, you know.
So why would you want to do division ID if that would be just the ID?
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you on that. You know, division needs to have like this is the kind of a name thing, company division, whatever. So we could apply like a primary key on this thing.
I would just do ID rather than because
the whole thing's painful. let me just be frank. The whole is like regrettable, but.
So is this like a real life experience you get when you go to work?
Well, sometimes if you're having to recombobulate data that somebody else has goofed around with, sure. I mean, if you're taking stuff in from like Mongo, this like doesn't have any structure to it, and you're trying to like apply foreign keys and primaries, and like we're trying to do here, God, it's like regrettable, quite frankly.
That's why you need a good friend to do it because you have a good laugh, and then it's alright instead of being painful.
I'll step the hell back. But, you know, I think I might want to have a department ID on this thing, just somehow. It's a foreign key, you know, it's an integer.
Department doesn't have ID.
Oh, we'll make it so.
Yes.
God, so it's terrible we don't have it. I get it. We might even make one now. We would do an insert select into a fresh new table to be able to have unique department stuff that's like a distinct, you know. We could do insert select distinct department stuff from this thing and then have a table, you know. We could make a new table out of nothing.
Gonna do
it? We're about to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck region. We're going to do division first, I guess, or department or whatever. So, okay. Alter table, company divisions, add, what is it? Division ID, is it?
Just
I'm sorry, department ID. Department ID, right? Call it.
Why?
Isn't it?
Instead of department?
Oh, please have it to be an ID. We already have department. Look, that column's a text column. It already exists. So that as an int. Int means a 4-byte thing. And it's not even as. That would be like an alias or something. It's just int. Like this is.
You said as.
I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. So now, alter table, the name of the table. Add some column name with the data type you want. Right here it is, and then you could apply unique constraints if you want or whatever else. But you don't. We don't want that because we don't know. Like this might be many to many, so we're not sure about that. Just leave it be and semicolon. Let's just see if it runs. God, just add this stupid column. Oh my God, it took it. Great. Now guess what? Now we've got work ahead of us because we've got to update this table to have the right things in, right? Some numeric sort of a deal. First of all, we even have to build another sort of a table with a primary key that says it's like departments, apparently. So let's create table.
Oh, I'm so happy that we did that.
Right?
Actually.
We're going to create a fresh new table, and we're just trying to clean up stuff here. Create table department.
Hold on, table name. Is it lowercase?
I would have it with uppercase D. That's just myself because I like class names.
Yeah.
I've wrote code in C to start with, like class names with uppercase.
However, yeah, I wouldn't though because they did that, so
well, fuck them. I think I don't know. Whatever you want.
No, if they did that,
okay, I'm on board. Yes,
then I'm not.
You're right. Okay, yeah. Create table department, and then even pluralize it. Those weirdos. I guess it's like Rails.
I would pluralize the table name.
Well, Rails does. DHH does that shit. So
I would do that because you have multiple entries of the same thing. So then there are multiple departments. There is multiple whatever.
Look, actually, if it makes sense to you, like in the olden days, in the 80s and 90s, with ERDs, we never pluralized that stuff. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I get that times change, but so now with a create table, now what do we have to have? It's not just this, but
you need column name.
Okay, how many columns might we have?
In department.
Okay, so there's space and then parentheses, right?
Yeah.
Whatever columns we want, and so ID serial. Interestingly, a data type that we utilize in Postgres is just this. This is a 4-byte. You can also do big serial, which is an 8-byte. Okay, and then you have many more possibilities. But with a 4-byte, it's assigned integer, which means you get up to like 2 billion things, which is usually enough for most things. I guess for us, 2 billion departments might be, certainly adequate, I guess. So that's our first column. It's a primary key, so we can also say that primary key, serial primary key.
Upper?
This, yes, all up. I would recommend it be all uppers. Does not have to be. It's not case sensitive.
Okay.
A comma, and then what else?
Name.
Yeah. Okay. Name, and then what we want. If we want it stored close to the table, it's a varchar. If we want it stored maybe sometimes distant, 2 lookups, then it's a text. This name's not going to be long, so what do you choose? Or I don't know, you want a car or something?
Right?
I would think varchar could be useful.
And they also said that they put in parentheses the number of characters.
You can. I mean, there's certainly solutions that force that, even like varchar max that you can do like over in the Microsoft environment or whatever else. If you just generically say varchar, I would think
it'd be fine.
Postgres is not going to be concerned about such.
Yeah.
So.
And that's all we need in there?
Yeah, we conclude that, close off that parenthesis, do a little semicolon, say that's our statement, and now, goodness, we've got a fresh new table on board.
Goodness.
With 0 rows. Look at that. Created the table for us. Oh my goodness.
Yay.
Thank you.
And now we're going to insert and we're going to do the query about our data, and then we're going to do the
How do we, yes, okay. If you're going to insert it, you want to go for the gusto and insert it without even trying, or you want to select it first and just make sure. What do you want to do? If you want to go for the gusto, we can do the insert select. Oh, we're going to be careful about this. So select distinct what? Okay, this is anything that's not a duplicate of. It's not just name, but what is it? It's like we'll get to name, but really right now it's called department.
Yes, but because we don't even have the table.
Yeah, we don't have. Yeah, this is our select limit. We're trying to derive this information from existing junk. Trying to steal it, glean it from something else that actually exists currently.
Company divisions.
Yeah.
So we said, sorry.
It's from company divisions, but what the hell is it? It's okay. That's it's department. Yeah. We're starting to get some good rain, I think, coming down from the sky here.
The laundry's out.
Awesome. How many things on the line right now?
Everything.
It's just sheets and shit out there.
Nope.
Socks. my under things.
No, it's Oscars.
No.
Under things. Potty training.
Mm.
Hold
Okay.
on. Why is it company divisions and there is company division? Oh, because it's a column name and it's a table name. Okay.
Weirdly,
So,
right?
I
The
need to do
company
divisions.
divisions table has a
Okay.
company division column.
Okay.
So
that's
it's
okay.
plural, as
We're
you
not
said,
gonna-
right? You
we're
like
not
that.
gonna-
You're a new generation person. I love you.
I'm not gonna complain about it.
Oh,
Select
fuck that, it's
person
not. Look.
Department from company divisions. Is that all it is?
Oh my gosh, look at that. It's a unique set of all 21 things that could exist from all the company divisions. That's everything I know. So, guess what? We make an insert statement. Like, prefix that to an up arrow, possibly. I mean, I don't know. You want to copy paste? I don't give a shit.
I can copy from here.
Okay. Insert into is what we might say, right?
Yeah.
What do we want to insert into?
We just made our brand new shiny table called department.
Okay, I acknowledge this. Now, generally, we would want to have, like, I would even consider it to be bad form unless you put parentheses right here and indicate which columns you'd like to address. I would be offended. Maybe not morbidly, but like significantly. And because it's not a function, I don't want to.
No.
There better be a space here. So a space and then parentheses, right? I want to have the name of the columns that I'm going to be inserting into. What are the columns you want to address?
We only
Tell
have
me.
two, don't we?
You have two columns, but
and-
you don't mess with that ID column. It counts up itself.
So only name.
So we had said serial. Let's just actually, just for the purposes that people are confused currently, serial is a data type which means a 4-byte integer, which means I'm going to count it up automatically. I'm even going to create another object. Like you didn't even see it happen. There's another object, a primary key sequence, that had been applied to that serial column so that it knows how to count up from the number 1 to whatever number it's going to count to, and you can specify that number. You can move the number around if you want, but like right now, it's going to think the next thing I put in here is going to be the number 1. And after that, number 2. It's a consecutive sequence of number 3, number 4, you know. A serial is having an auto-incrementing thing. So if you were in the MySQL world, it's auto-increment. If you were in Microsoft SQL Server world, then you have the automatically incrementing things there. This is an automatically incrementing thing that you do. Serial does a sequence. So in the Postgres world, there's a thing called a sequence. We have that on board. All we then want to specify, we just let the ID do its thing because it'll count it up automatically on its own in the background. Just trust it, please. It's an integer. It just keeps going. So now we're just going to specify the name, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. That's all I want. It's name, close paren, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Now, what was your select statement? You need a space.
From.
Okay. It's not even a from. It's a insert into that, and insert select is just insert select. That's it. Paste your stuff. Where's your select? Let's do it.
Oh, so what we're doing is insert select.
That really is. So what that was, you see this select statement is, show me a list of names, right? 21 names.
And then add them
Put them in
there.
Yeah. Now,
all right.
All we have then need now is just a semicolon.
Okay.
That's it. That's really it.
This is a silly thing. I don't know if it matters at all. But if I did order here and had them like alphabetically listed.
Ooh. We do it.
Yeah.
Get jiggy on this thing. Goodness. You want to tempt fate like that? I'm all on board. Goodness. Let's have it. Insert select. Not all SQL implementations might allow this, but this one will.
Or did it by department?
That would be the thing. Yeah, I think you have 2 semicolons. That also doesn't matter.
I don't.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm not looking closely, I guess. Look at that. It inserted them. Now, is it alphabetic or not? Previously, incidentally, you saw it listed out. It was not alphabetic
and
at all.
that's why I'm upset.
Oh, you're upset. Does that cause you? You're the proper data person. If you're OCD about alphabetization, you probably are a SQL person at heart.
Yeah, okay.
You're probably going to be fine.
Side.
I mean, just so you know, if you care about the sequence of data in any regard, like you care about indexes, then I mean, you don't even know you should care about indexes, and already you do. So that's great. Like alphabetization is a really, really big thing. Collation is another thing. Latin character sets and whatever else. Cyrillic, Greek, Hebrew, goodness. There's all kinds of different sequences that we can approach. I mean, kanji and everything else in terms of how data gets stored. And if you care about the sequence of things, you are a data person. By and large, my goodness, yes, you are.
Thank you.
And I've been long-winded for nothing, probably. So there you did your insert select with an order by
So my
no
new
less.
table is called departments. Okay.
Yeah, let's see if we have anything in there. Yes, it said there was 21 rows. Damn it!
Oh, look, it did it nicely.
It's so pretty. Okay. Now, based on this, we can apply a foreign key column onto that messed up. And I really shouldn't be so derogatory towards this. I should be more kind because, God damn it, this guy just wanted to make data for us, and he did, right?
Yeah,
so company division, we're going to alter this table and add a new column, right? Company division is going to have a department ID. It has a department, texting, varchar. Company divisions is great if we alter that table and add an integer foreign key column. We might have. Did we do that yet? Yes, we did.
We did. Department ID. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah. Why don't we just now update that thing, you see?
Ooh, that's good because I don't remember how.
Oh my gosh, it's on.
You see, that's good.
An update with a join. But before you do this, let's do the select with a join. We want to join the existing data that exists in that table against our newly created, with its IDs and everything. We want to know the IDs. So, if you will, select d.id.
Oh, you're just going to tell me?
Here we go. Now, this is D will be a shorthand for department. This is a table alias, a correlation name. The technical name on that is a correlation name for the department's relation. Technically, it's sure it's a table, but you don't know what came from, so it could be a view or anything else. So it's a relation. We're going to call it a relation. But anyway, so it's a table. It's a relation. So it's a correlation name for a relation. D. So d.id, and then. Well, if you want to put other stuff in, you can, but I don't think we have to. So I just want to know the ID that relates to the thing that's in. So maybe we then do, what's the other thing? CD, maybe. Company divisions, right? So comma CD, and then we'll just do dot splat.
You can do that?
Oh my God. What is that?
Of course you
on that relation, right? Of course you can. I'm going to show all columns from this other thing. I'm just going to go gregarious. I'm just going to go nuts, man. Put all my stuff out there. Splay it out there to the world. My goodness, all my company division bullshit. I'm just going to splay it out there like a fool. All right.
Company divisions.
Yeah, which means what? Department and company division. And now this new null column. We've added another column, which has all nulls, right? We just added a column. It will have nothing in it whatsoever currently, which is the department ID. So we expect to see that here, see? From... Now, how do you join these two? This is where I'm going to put it on you, see?
What?
Join these two, yes.
Hold on, no. What is
as I get a coffee, a well-deserved coffee. Honey.
No.
Really? No, you're going to join this. From what? From what? Join what? Come on.
Why do you say it's null if we just added all the IDs?
Well, look, I did alter table, company division, add, division ID. That's all I said. Integer, data type. You think it has anything in it right now? What do you think? There's numbers in there? What?
Where?
It's an integer. Remember up here. Look, I did there it is. Alter table, company divisions, add department ID integer.
Oh,
you think anything's in there? That's a null column right now. Everything in there is nulls, right?
Okay,
we're about to update that, right?
I'm just thinking that we have IDs for the departments.
Okay.
We do, however.
Well, yeah, we want to put them in there.
Oh,
we desperately. Look at these. We got 21 numbers to apply, however many times over.
Okay.
Yeah, you getting it?
Yeah,
it's great that we're going to see this thing, I believe.
So then what we do, we want to do
from who and join who and so forth.
Well, we do the department.
Yeah, okay. That's our new table. Yeah. We interjoin because we know that there's always going to be a match between these two things, apparently.
Yes, and which one is the one that we need to interjoin? It's the one that we just altered. So
the company divisions, is it?
That's company divisions, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. As something. Yeah, you don't have to put the keyword as in instantly. You see a lot of people omit it. We're just trying to be complete here, really, and be explicit.
I like when it's there.
I do too. It really does speak. I mean, it speaks a sentence, really.
Yeah.
Now we're interjoining it on.
Yes. On, and then we find.
That's what I'm going to do with a coffee.
You're just going to leave me now?
Well, certainly. I'd like to.
But your coffee is right here. You don't
have to have you built one? Oh my God. Okay.
I've foreseen it.
COVID coughs over here.
Company divisions. It's on what? Department ID?
Ah.
What?
Where is it? Because the department ID is all nulls. Oh, you can't join it. Ah.
What?
It's all nulls.
So what? Name?
How's it not all nulls?
He doesn't have
I
it.
wasn't even recording this whole thing.
Huh?
I'm so glad you have a screen capture with maybe audio going because I haven't recorded a damn thing here. Huh. Now, department ID, department ID in the company division table is all nulls, right?
Yes, I know. Is that a problem?
Well, what are you going to join on? You don't have any foreign key.
Oh, the name. On the department
Yeah,
name.
you join on the name, yeah.
Ah.
Now you understand.
So it's department on the company divisions. It's called department. Department
Well, that
equals
division, department,
D dot
symbol the other thing.
name.
I'll be right back. Show some data.
Ah. What happens? What? Okay.
The thing that I take heart in some sense, actually, is just the pitter-patter of the rain on the rooftop, I guess.
You take what?
I take solace in the pitter-patter of the rain. It's on the rooftop out here, then. It's quite, just endearing, I think.
You're endearing.
Ah, SQL Boo. That's a domain name I want to buy, is my SQL Boo.
Oh, my SQL.
That's what you're going to go out in the world with, see?
Okay,
You're going to go out there. Hi, I'm SQL Boo. Oh, yeah, I know you. Right? Yeah, I've seen that girl, I think, online. There was some stupid shit that she was in. I don't know. She was doing all this stuff with this idiot, so...
Not stupid shit, it's the wisdom.
The wisdom. I remember I got the wisdom from this idiot online. Well, I understand. That's why I'm trying to respect SQL Boo. Hello. What the hell is this? Good Lord. See? There's no safe place for the 40-year-old male. What is this? I love you. Now on this,
Is it okay if I just leave my shoe out there?
I'm pretty sure it's going to be very fine. This is a very casual evening out here in the conservatory.
You want this artichoke?
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, sorry, it's falling.
It's actually very good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's more very...
Oh. This is that monster thing that's going to flood Lincolnshire, I guess. 3 inches or 4 or something.
So here we go.
Okay.
Now we're going to transfer this here.
I should have to think that that's what we want to do, right? Like here we've joined 2 different tables together. We've got their nonsense. Try to say the IDs from this primary key, this thing at the left, this primary key thing here, 1 to 21, should end up over here, please.
So that's the
update
we'll
statement.
do.
We
Okay.
just want 1 column updated. That's it. This is simple, right?
Yeah.
Do we think it's simple? Oh, goodness.
It's not?
It's an update with a join, isn't it? It's different syntax for various different flavors of SQL, by the way. We'll look at that, actually. So here in Postgres, then it might be update, and then what's the next thing? After you write update, then what do you write?
Probably a column that you want to update.
Well, what are you updating?
Table.
Okay, I believe that. Yeah, data manipulation language means you have to update tables at a time.
Okay.
It's rows in the tables, granted.
Yeah.
Manipulation means only just rows,
But
but
insert is on rows, right? And update
insert
is...
into table name, select from table name. What do you say the first thing? I mean, granted, in the select from, there's a select column list from, but the from clause is the first thing that's evaluated. So it's table name. You always think about the table name first. Insert into table name. Delete from the table name.
Okay.
Select crap from, and it's assessed, from clause first, and then it goes back to the select list second, really, or at the end, really. Anyway, update some table which in this case is then
Well, you have to
company divisions. That's where our foreign key is that we're hoping to update. So I'll say this as CD, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll say set, what? Department, our new column, department ID. Here we have it. See this thing, this nulls, it's all nulls.
Mm-hmm.
This vacant space doesn't indicate as much, but like it's really nulls. That is equal to, and then we'll assess that there'll be something, .id, you know, in our join and so forth, and that's going to be our new departments table. So I'm just going to say d.id.
Yeah.
And then from,
And then we put our super duper select.
departments as D.
Mm-hmm.
Now what? How do I associate? You know, I just had all this, but how would I specify that here? I can't do it this way. I cannot have an inner join. This is the limitation of Postgres. I have to use a where clause. Can you imagine? I actually have to dip out to something that's like a where clause to be able to have this on something equals something stuff to happen over here, like we just specified. Weirdly enough, that has to be where, and I already know about CD, CD dot department, that text column is equal to D that I've already specified with this table alias, you see.
Yeah.
D dot,
D.
is it name or something? See, that's what you did here, right?
Oh, okay.
See, you remember you joined that before? You remember that?
Yeah.
Look at that. That fucker updated 21 things.
Seriously, like that?
Well, I don't know. Did it? It's up to you to choose. This is our select statement. What do you think? Fucking, we put that across, didn't we? What? Look at that. Think about how that works. Just talk about it. Yeah. Okay. This is an update with a join in Postgres. Okay. You use it with a where clause. There's no actually. You don't say JOIN. You don't even say join. It just happens because of the goddamn where clause. See? Isn't that interesting? However, in the Microsoft SQL Server world, you would do a from and a join. You would do a join. You could do from this table, join that other table. So simple.
All right. So it happened only because we have already joined those tables. No.
It's not because we previously joined them.
This is only working for the purpose of this.
Right. This is an example to get us prepared too. We understand how these relationships exist. It doesn't know that we asked this select statement previously.
Yeah.
How could it? This is its own independent statement, 4 lines. Yes, we just ran it right now. Yeah. And if this were Microsoft SQL Server, it would say update, table name. But then it would say set this from first table name, company divisions as CD. That's what you would do. You would do a whole from company divisions again if this were Microsoft SQL Server. Inner join departments as D on CD department equals D.name. You would do that in Microsoft SQL Server. It's a different syntax altogether.
Okay.
Postgres is just different. That's just how this thing works, I guess.
So how come you can do it without joining it?
Well, is it joining it or not? Look at this. We've set up aliases. You know, we've got CD means this thing and D means that thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We have these, what we would term, technically it's correlation names, right? We have these correlation names that are established.
Yeah.
And we can say, of this thing, you can associate these two things in this way. The where clause, you don't even know. Like, we didn't ever used to have a join keyword back in the olden days with like mainframes and stuff. Teradata, I mean, we had this select from, where it's like, we had equijoins that were like, all right, you have a splat equals or an equal splat to be left, right, or centered, like inner join. Like left outer join, right outer join. With a splat equal or an equal splat was an outer join. If you can imagine, this was the olden days, and we didn't ever have a join syntax. We had a where clause. It was so simple to mess it up, because if you leave off the where clause, you suddenly get what we call a Cartesian product. Everything joins to everything. You know, this would be like what would be the full join. It's not even a full outer join. It's just like a cross join. God, it's like everything to everything. It's like we were in the 60s, I guess. You know, everybody connects with everybody. It's fucking weird.
I can do it.
I love what you're doing, and I think what you're trying to approach, and I respect and honor you for it, actually.
Do you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you want to understand what joins to what. Now that this whole mayhem has ensued, what now connects?
Can I do this? No.
What sort of sanity? Let's just step back for a second.
Okay.
We've just updated these. It's a foreign key column, right? We added a foreign key column. We don't even have a constraint on it actually to say that it's going to be enforced.
Yeah.
We couldn't because it was all null values and it would be invalid anyway if we started.
Yeah.
So now actually we could apply what would be called a foreign key constraint. A relationship sort of a thing. Make sure that whenever you insert any one of these guys, it's got one of those guys. That's a foreign key constraint.
Yeah.
Like the department ID has to be present and actually valid. So it's got to connect to a real thing that does exist,
That's what
we could enforce. We don't have that yet, but we had only just started off by having this to be all nulls. We filled it in with real valid values from a primary key. So these are foreign keys that do relate to something that actually does exist.
Yeah.
And that is valid. Great. All right.
But what I want to say is that you said that I don't have to do integer. I can just use the where clause. So now I want to see a select statement that uses that kind of
you better use a comma from this comma that. Can you imagine? Yes, we can do it. Postgres will let you do this. Okay, I understand where you're trying to go. Let's just first of all though write the one that would be with the join, like the quote unquote normal. The what we would do now because we don't want to mess it up. What we have done, we could go back and actually now because we have a foreign key, we can actually do the real select. So select splat from. Come into divisions as CD, inner join, etc. We can do joins, right? We can use the keyword join. This is a luxury. But it's not a
foreign key yet.
Oh, it's a foreign key now. I mean, it's an integer and it relates. I would classify it as being foreign key. It doesn't have that constraint in place.
Yeah.
Granted, it's not enforced, but I would say it's a foreign key.
Oh, okay. So we can still use it that way.
Oh, yes. By all means, we can join. Like what? We just joined on a name, a text field, to be able to get this far. You see. Mm-hmm. We did something that janky, in hopes of that would be unique. So you said select distinct. We're going to hope to join that way, right? And it worked, so.
It's easy when you work with a small set of data.
It very much is. And this is janky piece of shit data, too, so
it's
not like we care, right?
Not to be so terrible.
Oh, God. I've already slipped into Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. I'm a terrible person. I just hope you understand. Everybody at home, realize and understand that I'm absolutely a worthless piece of shit. Just so you get it. I mean, I'm not going to be false to you in any regard. I guess you understand where I'm coming from.
Right. So what do we do now?
Now we can definitely do this join. So I'd like to, first of all, you asked how do we do the where clause with comma. We'll get there. This is an old mainframe way that we used to join that she's asking about, actually. So what? Select splat. Let's just start. Select splat from. Yeah. And what? Company divisions, I think we could start with as CD or something. Because that's kind of what we started with in the first place, I guess. And now we might say, inner join something. That's our current, Vogue syntax as of 1992. Department says D on something. Something equals something. This joins keyword. We never had it before SQL 92, and this is something that we like now. Because it makes us mess up less and have fewer Cartesian products when we try to join crap together. And it causes us not to have to use server resources too heavily. It's pretty great. In the early days of relational data sets, we were a little different, though.
ID and name.
We have what's called department ID, and the other one's called ID. I mean, it's not a big deal, I think. I love that you're looking at it.
I'm super tired.
Oh, I know it. I get it.
I don't have a brain right now.
I've already I know that I've gone a lot of directions this evening.
Yeah. Okay.
So what? CD dot something equals D dot something. Let's just think about that.
Usually it's some ID, stupid, whatever.
Well, it is D dot ID, but what is on the CD side because we took the other from the other, right?
Department ID.
You know it. We've only just established that, by the way. That was our update statement that built out that column of information currently.
D dot ID.
Now let's see that work out. So if that works, we've got ourselves a join. Great. And it didn't have to
it's just all those interesting things now.
Now let's write the same thing as if it were 1980, before we had this luxury of using something called join. Let's have the same idea.
Okay.
This is an equa join. Equa in terms of there's an equal sign there, see? Mm-hmm. This is something equals to something else. That's called an equa join. It's kind of slang syntax, I guess. we can do the same thing. So what's from company divisions as CD? We never used to have a join keyword, so comma. Weirdly, isn't that? And instead of an on, it's just where. But don't you leave out the where clause, otherwise it'll get all fucked up. Can you imagine that's the exact same statement? Can you imagine? That's an inner join right there. It's an equi-join. A where clause caused that to work. This is also, by the way...
It logically makes sense.
In that sense, by the way, that's why the screwy update statement that you were so surprised with at first worked. That's an update with a join, because it uses a wherever the hell it was. I don't know.
It wasn't that far back.
Yeah, somewhere we wrote that stupid thing. I don't know.
That's alter table, insert.
Insert. Yeah, we made the primary keys
there. And then
there.
after that.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay, so this thing, it is exactly, notice, that is the same where clause.
Yes,
period.
but you set it up differently. So there is no comma and then in the select.
Okay, granted, yeah, there's no comma. It's not like from this comma that, but I could have, That's what Postgres would honor is, you want to take a few more things and consider it and then bring more things to the table as I join this up and find, the set doesn't care what the hell is on the right side. You calculate that thing. Have that to be this times that divided by some square root of this longitude of your mom. What the fuck else, It doesn't care. That's just an expression. This must be a column. That must be a column in the table. That must be. But this can be any expression at all whatsoever that you want. And this where clause, you can do from this, comma that, comma the other thing, comma your mom, what else. And then the where clause just joins it all together, see? Just like we have now done here. Right down here, that's the exact same where clause. The exact same where clause. I know. Okay, the other one's text. It's not the exact same where clause. What is it? CD department equals d.name or whatever. Anyway, you understand. We're tired. Thanks, everybody, for watching and listening to our silly... All we're going to do now is just kill the fact that we ever thought that we should have a department column in company divisions. Alter table, company divisions. What do we do now? Goodbye, text column. Horrible, repetitive thing that you are. Oh. You see, you should actually, with the disdain that you have for the lost love of your hated exes, you should be in that same sort of space in regards to, please, I'm done with you and I'm tearing up your letters, I'm throwing away your phone number and everything else. Alter table, company divisions, drop column. It's fucking out of my life.
Would it be column upper or?
As you see fit. I mean,
what would you do?
I'm emphatic, so of course I like to have uppers, but this is, as you see fit. This is a SQL keyword, so drop column. You name the column you want, which is department in this, isn't it? Department. That's a text column that we have here that we're just totally not done with because we've established a foreign key called department ID. So that's it. Drop column. I'm done with you. Fucking go. Semicolon. You're out. Gone.
But you know what? The same thing is in the stuff.
Oh, don't get me started. Yeah, how tired are you? How much more energy have we got this evening?
I think we should just get it done.
Oh, good Lord.
So we're gonna.
Are you serious? You're gonna persevere at this juncture?
Yeah.
With a rainy night like this? Okay,
yeah,
I get it.
When I have to get it done.
Oh, I understand. Polish woman, don't get in her way. When she wants to clean things, fucking don't get in her way. Let her do that. I get it. Okay. Yeah, where's this? We'll have a second example now. So, staff has an ID. That's a primary key for this, right?
Yeah, and it has department that is just written out.
Oh, I see.
So can I change the type of the data in the given table?
Although you
can. Or do I have to drop it
can.
into another...
Here's the issue.
In that column event.
If you want to change it, yes, there's some special sort of fancy alter table statements you can try to do with an expression in the middle, and Postgres lets you do this kind of crazy thing, but it's not, I would think, it's not very safe necessarily. It's not conventional, totally. It's not portable amongst all SQL flavors. You couldn't do it in MySQL as easily, for instance. It's something that I would recommend, like we've done previously. We've added an additional column, which is department ID, right? And then we did the update, right?
Step by step.
And we set up the IDs over there. It's in numerical.
Okay.
And we had two things. For a little bit of time, we had two things going. And then we finally eradicated because we didn't want duplication of anything, really.
No.
That's a denormalized piece at that stage, which could be used for just, for performance reasons, caching or whatever else. But that's like terrible, really, because now you have to maintain two places of having the same text data. That's a piece of shit, really. So we're going to get rid then of department eventually, but not yet. If you want to really go down this road, let's fucking do it. Are you sure? Because what it would be? Let's just recap, right? This is you're trying to say let's just have a follow-on, so or a sort of recap of what the hell. What do we do here?
So
if you want to do the same thing for staff, then
so first I would add the column.
Okay,
so
to add department ID. Right?
Yes. So
integer.
To do that, I would need to do.
All right, fucking let's do it. I don't know.
Yeah, let's do it. We do it all.
So alter table, right? So
alter table. That's the one. I just
alter table because it's a data definition language. If there's three things there, then create, alter, drop is those three things that mess with objects in the SQL environment. So that is altering an existing object that exists, this table. So staff, and then add. We don't even say the keyword column here because it just is like, oh, you want to add stuff, I'll just let you, I guess.
Yeah,
so department
ID.
If you try to say column, it'll say, what are you talking about? And then look, oh my goodness, we have, and what is it filled with? Null. So if we do like select department, comma, department ID from staff, we'd see currently that, we don't have anything that jives over there at all. So this is what we want these things to have some sort of relationship in some way. There's many of them. God, I keep pressing space. And,
no, 1,000. You have 1,000 entries.
Yeah, it's like huge, really. I want a lot of stuff to be able to get associated here. So what do we do next? Now we have this integer column that has been applied on the side of the staff table, of which there's now 1,000 rows with nulls in. I want to change that around so there's actually valid foreign keys in place. So what do I do?
You need to fetch that foreign key from the department.
Yeah, I love it. And how might I do that here? And I'm just only drawing, you wanted to do a little...
Let's do joins because they're way more common.
Well, I'm tired, so I just don't give a fuck anymore, actually. So what, this is, what's S is staff, right? Is that what we're updating? We're updating staff, right?
Staff.
That's the table upon which we've added the new column, if you recall. And then it's the same sort of idea, where this department ID is equal to, yes, our department's table that we've already established with this insert select, if you remember, right?
Look how
with the names, we're already very far along. So where it's not the CD department, but
S department.
S department is equal to the department name.
It's not, because it's...
Why is it not?
Hold on.
Hold on. Hold it now. Hold it now. Hold it. Hit it.
What?
Hold it now. Hold it now.
Because the S department, it already would exist in that thing.
The staff table, as we see, and here's this,
because you only...
If I rerun that, look at that. If I now rerun this, the staff table has, these two, of which I want to dismiss this as soon as possible because that's my ex and I want to be fucking done with them.
Yeah, you better.
So here we have, though, I don't know, department ID didn't look like it updated everything. And that's a lot of trouble. It'll tell you the null things first, but there's a lot of stuff that did relate. And it hooked right up.
Why do you think it didn't update it?
Well, why do you think it didn't update it? Did we do an insert select? This is where you can get real trouble. We did an insert select on company division. Can you imagine that staff has departments that are not represented in the company division? Is that fucked up of a database? Can you imagine that?
I don't understand what that means.
I'm sorry. So there's departments, right, that we got out of company division, right? The company division table had a fixed amount of departments that it represented, right? Yes. And we thought we were all of them. And you even ordered it ascending, alphabetically, thinking, oh my goodness, this is all of them. I want it to be in a neat row. And what did it do? It fucked you in the ass. Look at that. Like music, we got music. That was one that we had. We never had books. We didn't know about books.
So in divisions, the company divisions, they never had books?
Company divisions never had books. See?
That's ridiculous because it's a department.
That ugly red-headed stepchild, right? Right? God damn it.
People don't respect books.
Well, I don't know. It's what people respect anymore. It's, good Lord. You know what I know is, what do we need here is more rows inside of department. We're missing books. Look at this. Select
Ah.
splat from department is real messed up, man. We didn't get the full story out of the, whatever, departments. Why did you name it that way? Okay, anyways, there's no books there. Look, we got baby, we got beauty. There's no other B's there. You know, we're fucked. I'm serious. We've got to do more inserts. Look at that.
Well, it's going to mess up my IDs.
Oh, you think you need to care about that? You need to get out of that really, really quickly. If you think IDs should be in a row, you got another thing coming to you. In terms of SQL, it doesn't care. This is a surrogate. This is a background thing. You do not care about the numbers. That is behind the scenes. That is not something that is customer facing. Nobody needs to know about the numbers that are behind the scenes, hooking everything up. And especially once you get into GUIDs, you don't know those numbers. Thank God, right? For security purposes, it's better.
So we
if you don't.
are actually going to manually add books because we just had fun.
Why would I manually do that thing? You know I'm a lazy ass. What the hell is that? Where's my insert select? You think I would manually do anything in this day and age? Think about this. Insert into departments, right? Name. Okay. Select distinct. What is it? Department from no longer company divisions, because we're done with that thing.
From staff.
From staff, okay. Where what? And now we're going to have a subquery, right?
Where it doesn't already exist in the thing.
Where it doesn't already exist. Perfect. I love it. Where?
I'm so logical these days.
Department.
Is not in whatever. Yeah,
It's not in some sort of a subquery. And if you
so cool.
really want an order by department, I guess I'll leave it there for you. Just to appease your ass. But yeah, it's not in. Select name from departments. I don't know. And it's not is not in. And that's where I messed that up. It's just not in. Stupid. And that's the one thing it needed, apparently. Look at that.
Was it select name from departments? Oh.
So remember, because that was our, we called it name over there, see. So let's see what we have. I mean, I don't know. We had 21 things before, apparently 22 things. Look at that. That's all it was. We only got messed up with books.
Yeah.
This janky-ass piece of shit data. Goodness.
You're not supposed to say those things.
Oh, yes, right. I'm sorry. Jeff Bezos already took all the bookstore things and went to Mars with it, apparently, with his stupid-ass cock rocket. So, yeah, let's, now that we have this, what are we going to do? Can we do this other update statement fresh again? Do you think that's going to hurt anything? What if there's existing data? Will it be updated?
No.
Yes. How many rows will this affect?
I don't know what you asked.
Watch.
What?
This other update statement, a long time ago, I guess, wherever it was. Look at that. It affected 953 things. How many do I really have?
1,000.
Yes, 1,000. 1,000 staff.
Yeah.
As you might expect, if there's only one department that got messed up,
yeah.
Books, you know, it would be about 50 folks that are messed up in this, right? Look at this. Update 1,000. Look at that. Because we have books now, because we're no longer messed up not knowing that we had books. We took Amazon back from Jeff Bezos, man. His cock rocket's going to go to the moon without us.
So, when you do update, then it goes through all the things?
Oh, yes.
And then it checks if it's valid.
This is a join. Now, granted, this is like as if it were a join, but it's not like a checked update in the sense of please limit things. This is I want to join stuff, so I'm going to do all this update between two tables, if you will. See?
So now everybody's set.
I think so. I mean, goodness. Now, should I be ballsy enough to say alter table staff, drop column? This is where I'm burning all of my past.
Good, do it.
Burning bridges. Drop column. Don't do this unless you're sure about it, right? Department. Get out of my life. Fuck you. And then we can do the join, you see? And then we got all this stuff back now. So everything's associated. Everything's good. And I think then...
Do you want to join here?
I don't care. Can't I be done with this?
You can. It's okay.
Okay. Staff. Fuck. S dot what? First name, comma, D dot name, no department. From staff. Fuck, I don't care. As S. Inner join. Departments, because you wrote it like that. That's D.
On everything's plural.
S dot department ID. See what see that ID? Fuck, I don't know.
She don't even know how to do it.
There's no first name on this thing. Is that without an underscore? What the hell is this?
Last name? Oh, you did first name but last name.
Yeah, I don't know what their name is.
Last name, not first name.
How do I not have a first name if I?
No, they only have last names.
Oh, that's so terrible.
Yeah, and it's
Look
with
at how-
underscore. With underscore.
Oh, okay.
Last
Well,
name.
there they are. See, everybody's apparently. God, this is so faceless. This organization. I know your gender, but not your name. This is horrible. All right. So now then, I do have book people somewhere in here. I keep going.
Oh, in the very end,
Because the way that it joins, it'll now sort it.
Because we can order and you don't have to click.
Oh, I'm so lazy though, because I'm going to go 1,000 of these. And there they are at the end. So we had our last ones. Not that it had to matter. This is almost a single-threaded operation currently. If this were a multi-processor jobby, it's probable that it would not be at the end. We can't even guarantee anything. It would have started in the middle somewhere because it's very busy going through the table as a carousel almost constantly. It's reading the table all the time off the disk, literally. There are databases that are so large with billions of rows in, it's like a carousel that just goes around. And when it's your turn, you get on the carousel, you get your rows you want, and you get off. You do not know the sequence as to which. It's going to be 2 parts in sequence. You got it? 2 consecutive parts generally, and you have to stitch them together one way or the other way. And it might be in sequence one time, and it's not the next, and it's cut
like
wherever.
Trying to get your luggage off the thing in the airport.
If you had 100 pieces of luggage and you wanted them in sequence, if you have 100 pieces and you said order by this piece of luggage, that's what it's like. Yeah, trying to get it, and it just keeps going around, and you don't know when you fucking walk up to that carousel and get your first piece. It's the 40th piece this time, and it's the 20th piece last time, and you want 100.
I get it.
Yeah, you fucking get it.
Yeah.
This is exactly what happens. 2 pieces frequently.
I gotta go.
And a large database is constantly a carousel when it's reading off of a magnetic disk specifically and not some random sort of sequence thing. Even though SSDs actually are optimized somewhat to go and see. I'm saying too much. God damn it. Anyway, now you know that's the whole story behind this thing. And I think that we've got a more normalized set of data now. And none of this.
Smarter now?
I don't know. It's getting closer to third normal form. God, I don't know. I'm done with it. You done with this one?
Yeah, for tonight, but not forever.
Okay.
I'll be back.